Once upon a time, in a land long ago, there was a man named Jonah. Now, Jonah wasn't just anyone. He was a prophet, someone chosen by God to deliver messages to people. But Jonah, well, he had his own plans. One day, God spoke to Jonah. Now, here's the thing. Nineveh was no friendly place. The people there were known for being cruel and violent. Jonah? He wanted nothing to do with them. Instead of listening to God, Jonah ran. He bought a ticket for a boat sailing in the opposite direction, heading for a place called Tarshish. He thought he could run away from God. But, of course, that's not how things work. As Jonah settled in, a massive storm rolled in. The wind howled, waves crashed against the boat, and the sailors started to panic. But Jonah had gone below deck, where he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. The captain went to him and said, "How can you sleep? Get up and call on your God. Maybe he will take notice of us, so that we will not perish." Then the sailors said to each other, "Come, let us cast lots to find out who is responsible for this calamity." They cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. Jonah answered, "I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." So they asked him, "What should we do to you to make the sea calm down for us?" "Pick me up and throw me into the sea," he replied, "and it will become calm. I know that it is my fault that this great storm has come upon you." Then they took Jonah and threw him overboard, and the raging sea grew calm. The sailors were amazed. They realized Jonah's God was real. They worshipped him right then and there. But Jonah's story wasn't over. Just as he thought he would drown, something enormous swallowed him whole. Jonah was inside a great fish. 3 days, 3 nights, alone in the darkness. With nothing else to do, Jonah prayed. God had heard Jonah's prayer. The fish spit him out onto dry land. And this time, Jonah didn't run. And something amazing happened. The people of Nineveh listened. They stopped their evil ways. Even the king took off his royal robes, sat in the dust, and prayed to God for mercy. But Jonah? He wasn't happy. He wanted God to punish Nineveh, not forgive them. He sat outside the city, pouting. God decided to teach Jonah a lesson. He made a leafy plant grow to give Jonah shade from the hot sun. Jonah was pleased. But the next day, the plant withered and died. Jonah was angry. Jonah had learned his lesson. God's love and mercy were bigger than Jonah's anger, bigger than his fear. God didn't just care about Jonah. He cared about everyone. And so, Jonah's story reminds us, no matter how far we run, we can never run from God's plan. And no matter what we've done, God is always ready to forgive. From inside the fish, Jonah prayed to the Lord his God. He said, "In my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead, I called for help, and you listened to my cry. You hurled me into the depths, into the very heart of the seas, and the currents swirled about me. All your waves and breakers swept over me. I said, I have been banished from your sight, yet I will look again toward your holy temple. The engulfing waters threatened me, the deep surrounded me, seaweed was wrapped around my head. To the roots of the mountains I sank down, the earth beneath barred me in forever. But you, Lord my God, brought my life up from the pit. When my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord, and my prayer rose to you, to your holy temple. Those who cling to worthless idols turn away from God's love for them. But I, with shouts of grateful praise, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed I will make good. I will say, salvation comes from the Lord.